Three things are required to be profitable in this business, and those three things are: first, you need a setup. The setup has to be something which is structural. That means it has something which is so unique to the market's behavior that it will always work. Now if you have a setup, the next thing is process, and if you don't follow a set process and if you are just like all over the place, it doesn't work. But even if you have a setup and process, the third element, which is the most important element, is situational awareness. The external environment or the market in which we are operating has ebbs and flows, it has cycles, it has like buying periods where you can make a lot of money, it has periods where choppiness is there are periods when reversals happen, there are periods when certain kind of stocks operate. Now situational awareness is a US Air Force coined term which was basically the concept of situational awareness as a training program was created by the US Air Force during the Vietnam War when they were losing a lot of aircrafts, and the reason they were losing a lot of aircrafts were because the pilots were not having a complete understanding of the environment, or they were making mistakes. So in order to avoid that, there was a program which was created which is called situational awareness. Situational awareness basically says that you observe, then you orient, then you act on it, and then you correct your course. So situational awareness in the market is very useful concept. In order to control your risk and to make sure that you don't get into drawdown, you have to operate in a situation where propensity of the market to favor your setup is very high. Now situational awareness is a dynamic thing. A couple of days ago till last week, breakouts were working very well. Even setups like anticipation setups were working very well. Then on Monday, you saw in the afternoon that breakouts started fading. Many of the breakouts faded. And yesterday there were more breakouts which faded, which told you that the situation is changed. The external environment has changed. As a result, now aggressively buying breakout is not likely to work till you get another period where there is a buying which comes into the market. Now this change of tactics, while you are still using the same setup of breakouts, but there are times when you can be very aggressively buying all the breakouts which you can find or putting in large size, and there are times when you have to hold back your buying. Like yesterday, coming into Monday, I had a lot of positions. A lot of them I closed on Monday, and yesterday I went into cash because a lot of breakouts were fading. So there is no point in keep on trying your luck in an environment, because when the situation has changed that the breakouts first are not likely to have the kind of follow through which you are going to get. Second is that you are going to get into a drawdown. So proactively taking steps and realizing that by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it was very clear that it's another day where breakouts are fading. Monday was just not one of those days. This was 2 days in a row. The same thing was happening. So as soon as that happened, I dialed down my risk to 0. Now I will wait out to see either a very nice breakout which has a catalyst based or a episodic pivot kind of a trade I would look for, or I look for signs that there is a strong buying coming into the market. And for this I have a tool called Market Monitor, and you can see that tool. But Market Monitor is not the only tool which helps in developing situational awareness. Situational awareness specific to a setup you develop once you start trading a setup. Because I trade day in and day out anticipation and breakouts, quickly when the anticipation setups start fading or breakouts start fading, there is a feedback loop which tells you, or you observe that, look, and this is the same kind of a breakout which was working till yesterday. What's happened? Is this just one off on this particular stock, or is it a pattern? Then you see 2-3 breakouts fading, then you know there is a pattern. Then you quickly dial down your risk. Similarly, when you see number of breakouts lining up in your anticipation scan, you know next likely move in the market is likely to be there is going to be a breakouts, and those breakouts are going to work. So you are ready. As soon as you see buying coming into the market and lot more stocks breaking out, then you can go aggressively and then you can exploit that phenomena. So if you want to become a good trader, no matter what you do, even if you're trading a pullback setup, you're trading an anticipation setup, or if you're trading a breakout setup, specific to your setup, there is a situational awareness, which is very important. And that situational awareness piece, once you put into place, then you have a setup, you have a process, and you have a situational awareness. And that then allows you to not get frustrated. A lot of breakout traders get frustrated. And why do they get frustrated? Because they continue to trade breakouts in an environment in which breakouts are not likely to work. And this doesn't really apply only to breakouts. This applies to even if you are going to be doing setups like, if you are going to be buying a bottoming kind of a setup. Again, bottoming kind of a setup have a particular situation in which they work. Bottoming kind of setups work when the market is severely oversold. If the T2108, which is a Warden indicator of percentage of stocks above 40-day moving average, is below 10, then you see that from that particular oversold kind of a condition, then that particular kind of a setup where you buy a bottoming kind of a setup or a thrust from the bottom, and it works. If you try and trade a bottoming kind of a setup in a bull market, it is not likely to work. Similarly, for a setup specific to pullback, again, pullbacks work if the market gets buying. If there is no buying, the pullback just becomes a short. So these are some of the nuances to a setup, and putting all the equation together, not only setup, only process and situational awareness, is a difficult challenge for a new trader. And as a result of that, there is a lot of frustration amongst new trader because they just understand one part of the thing. They just understand, say, a setup, or they see a video, or they read a book, and they just say, oh, okay, this is a VCP pattern, or this is a breakout, or this is can slim, or this is cup with handle. But the other piece of the equation, which is the situational awareness, which is the most critical piece, is what is missing in the beginning. And once you put together situational awareness skill, you will see that you will be constantly observing the external environment, orienting yourself depending on what is happening, deciding your course of action. I am like coming into today with a very conservative approach. So I know very clearly what I am going to be focusing on. I am going to be focusing on stocks in play, or something which is the news, because they can move independent of the market, or biotechnology stocks which have been working well, because that's again situational awareness, because I see in the environment that biotechnology stocks, small cap stocks are doing well. So that observation, then orienting your strategy to that, deciding course of action and correcting the course of action, is what situational awareness encompasses. And if you want to develop that kind of a skill, you really need to be having a roadmap as to what kind of a situation is ideal for your setup, what kind of a situation is not ideal for your setup, and how you can identify that situation. Once you put this skill together, then your setup win percentage increases, and as a result, you can stick to a setup for a long period of time.